Hello, and welcome to Tech Cubicle on SAP. I am Darryl Griffiths, and this is my weekly 180, where I spend 180 seconds on the latest techie news that impacts the world of SAP. And at the end, I'll pick my favourite to review in a little more detail in the cubicle. And this week, it's officially Jumper Week in the UK. In my SAP Techie news this week, the Register discusses the 30th of December deadline for customers to give notice to SAP for their support contracts. Failing to do so will mean those customers' support contracts will renew automatically in January 2025 and continue until January 2026, which will include the new maintenance price increase. John Gill, the VP of third-party support provider Spinnaker, said, "If you try to notify them on the 1st of October, you can't leave until January 2026. Gill thinks the price increase will be between 3 and 5%. He goes on to state that the scope of support offered under SAP's extended maintenance offering is not clear. The link to the article is down below. CIO.com has an article on SAP's new in-house FioriDAST security scanning tool. The article interviews Vladislav Dexheimer, SAP architect expert, who explains how FioriDAST has already reduced application vulnerabilities and at the same time saved thousands of person days across the organization, which has improved time to market. Built from a combination of technologies, FioriDAST includes features such as an end-user simulator, CI/CD pipeline integrations, and browser-side testing logic, all packaged within a user-friendly developer workflow. From IT Web, retail chain SPAR's SAP implementation is heading back on track after a fairly distressful implementation that cost approximately £70 million. SPAR announced that significant progress has been made in stabilizing the ERP implementation at our KwaZulu-Natal distribution center, and we have implemented upgrades to allow our procurement teams to have better visibility when making pricing decisions. The link to the article is down below. September 23rd marks the start of SAP Devtoberfest, the month-long celebration for developers. On the SAP Developers YouTube channel, I caught a great video from Peter Barker and Sandra Timmer on SAP Forms by Adobe. The video presents a great comparison between the old and new Adobe Forms architectures, including recommendations for smart forms. There is also a great comparison of features between on-prem and cloud solutions, and I recommend you watch this one before setting your Adobe Forms strategy. The link to the video is in the description down below. Onapsis expands its capabilities with the announcement that Onapsis Defend and Onapsis Assess now secure SAP BTP. Onapsis Defend for SAP BTP provides real-time alerts for critical config and permission changes, detection of unauthorized or privileged user access, integration with existing CyberSec monitoring tools. Onapsis Assess for BTP delivers visibility into risks and vulnerabilities by monitoring user accounts, identity settings, and authorization assignments, as well as assessing BTP configurations against predefined security baselines. The link to the item is down below. In Google Cloud, newly SAP certified compute engine bare metal machine types are now available. Plus, version 2.8 of the Google Cloud Storage Manager for SAP HANA standby nodes is available. I tried to find the changes in version 2.8, but actually gave up in the end. There doesn't seem to be a link or document that lists what has changed. The Google Cloud Storage Manager is a neat bit of code that allows standby HANA workers to be brought online in the event that the master goes down. It does this by mounting up the original HANA data and log storage from the master onto the standby. The link is in the description down below. Finally this week, kernel stack 777 patch level 700 is released. The 777 kernel finally gets the same parameters and changes that have been rolled into other kernel lines over the past month. You can see how after 2027 this whole process will be a lot quicker, as those old kernels will not need updating, which eats into SAP's development time. My favourite item this week is the CIO.com article on FioriDAST. I find it interesting but not surprising that SAP have had to go and create their very own security scanning toolset. If you imagine that Fiori is itself based on HTML5 and JavaScript, you would imagine that quite a few products already exist on the market to cater for these technologies.
Wait a minute.
However, as mentioned in the article, SAP said that commercial DAST, or Dynamic Application Security Scanners, tools were not comprehensive enough. One thing that drew my attention was the line, "Conventional DAST tools excel at finding common application vulnerabilities like SQL injections and XSS, or cross-site scripting, but they can fall short in detecting sophisticated zero-day exploits, business logic flaws, and API security issues." As you know, it is not possible to pre-detect 0 days, otherwise there would not be 0 days.
Yeah.
So what this is saying is that in a scenario where a 0 day is found and notified to the security community, software vendors and SaaS providers like SAP will go and scan their software for any impacted software libraries. This could be an infected Python library, for example, or some maliciously adjusted C code, just like the XZ compression library backdoor I mentioned in episode 12. I'll put the link above here for that episode. Fiori could be using any number of JavaScript frameworks and libraries in different guises, and so SAP would need to know as quickly as possible if a particular Fiori front-end server version is impacted by a 0 day. Fast detection allows SAP to find and remediate, which allows customers to be notified and also remediate. Then, we have the SAP-specific capabilities, such as being able to run a complete analysis of API interactions and test for inconsistent authorization checks. This capability would need to understand the design of SAP authorizations to be able to trace through a web call into the back-end SAP system. The tool would need to wrap around the SAP system with the front-end browser facing side, able to reference the back-end ABAP execution side. A critical capability of FioriDAST is the integration into the CI/CD pipelines used in the SAP software development process. This would provide instant detection during the code deployment cycle, which is way before any standard detection software would detect a problem. The article mentions that FioriDAST will be expanding over the coming years to cater for SAP BTP software developments as well. As always, reference links are in the description. Drop me a comment, give the video a thumbs up, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.